anti-productive runs. It's an attack on adults. These things you see with the abortion and the divorce, it's an attack on adults. It's an attack on God through us. You understand? Satan can't mess with God. Jesus defeated him on the cross and in his resurrection. Satan can't mess with God, but he can mess with us. He attacks God through attacking God's creation. Well, we will understand this actut when Jesus comes, or when he comes through us, whichever happens first. But let's continue. They cried out with a loud voice, just like Jesus, crucify him, crucify him, covered their ears and rushed at him with one impulse. When they driven him out of the city, he began stoning him. And the witnesses laid aside their robes at the feet of a young man named Saul, Rabbi Shaul of Tarsus, a disciple of Rabbi Gamaliel from Acts chapter 5. And they went on stoning Stephen as he called on the Lord, said, Lord Jesus, receive my spirit. Then falling on his knees, he cried with a loud voice, Lord, do not hold this sin against them. Having said this, he fell asleep. What did Jesus say on the cross when he was being murdered? Father, forgive them. What does Stephen say? Father, forgive them. You see the parallel? Well, let's continue. Receive my spirit. And Rabbi Shaul of Tarsus is holding his coats. He's helping facilitate the martyrdom of Stephen. Paul was a radical persecutor of believers and believing Jews. So it continues. If somebody faces martyrdom, the grace will be there to only blame Satan, but to forgive the murderers. The grace will be there at the time. Guaranteed. No question. The grace will be there at the time. And there will be a revelation of Christ. But let's go. I had a friend in seminary, Dr. Rahmatullah Khan. He had a PhD in Islam. He was a Muslim scholar from Pakistan, but educated in Al-Azhar University. That's like the Harvard of the Muslim world. And I used to practice my Arabic, talking to him in Arabic. We were friends in seminary. I found out the first time they identified his voice from preaching on the radio, they broke his hands. The second time, they dismembered his corpse and chopped him up to death. His heads and limbs. He was my friend, his friend of mine. Rahmatullah, Dr. Rahmatullah Khan. I'm going to see him again. I'm going to see Rahmatullah.
Amen.
It's quite a thing. We have friends who he was my friend. We were in seminary together. Fell on his knees. Lord, don't hold this against him. And he fell asleep. Remember, sleep. Death is for unsaved people. Sleep is for Christians. The little girl's asleep, talitata kumi. Lazarus is asleep. Paul says, do not be overly grieved for the brethren who are asleep. If you go to sleep, you wake up again. That's the resurrection. And if you go to sleep, your consciousness enters a different sphere. That's eternity. You're in the presence of the Lord. Sleep. Unsaved people die. One or two things are going to happen to most people. Unless they're here at the time the Lord returns, it will happen in a different way, but it's going to happen to everybody. They're either going to sleep or they're going to die. That's the choice. Do you want to go to sleep or do you want to die? You afraid to go to sleep? No. Don't be afraid to give up the ghost. To live as Christ, to die as gain. For the believer. But if you're not a believer, you're in big trouble. Your problems begin at the grave.
Yes.
And they never end. What's it going to be, sleep or death? If you're here tonight, you don't know the Lord Jesus, and you're listening to me, and you know it's the truth, it's because you're being quickened. It's not me. Nothing to do with me. Really, not much. It's because Jesus is telling you to repent and believe. What do you want to do? You're going to sleep or you're going to die? Those are the realities. That is the apology of Stephen. That is the martyrdom of Stephen. We continue just a little bit further. Remember, there's no chapter divisions in the original Greek canon. Saul was in hearty agreement with putting him to death. Father, forgive them. What if you said, Father, wipe them all out? We'd have no Paul the Apostle. Without Paul the Apostle, we wouldn't be here today. Rabbi Shaul of Tarsus becomes Paul the Apostle. Father, forgive. Quite a thing. Quite a thing. The prayer of a righteous man availeth much. The prayer of somebody being persecuted and martyred. God finds it very hard to turn people like that down. I tell a story, true one. I go to Vietnam. We have a ministry to the underground church, to the pastors of the mountain people, the Zao, and to the Montagnards, to the Hmong, and they're terribly persecuted. We meet in secret. I have to go back the end of the year. You don't say this stuff on the internet around, obviously. But when I nearly cashed in my chips from the cellulitis, from this edema, I couldn't walk. Now I can usually go short distances without those decrepit things. They look like crutches. Actually, it's a cross. But what happened? I asked these pastors, how many of you brethren were in prison for your faith? Almost all of them. It's a true story. I was there one time. They had a new believer. Him and another believer, his wife, and 5 of his children. 5 children, a wife, and another believer. The local communist authorities, it wasn't the national government, it was just the local communist authorities, stirred up a persecution of some kind. They set his house on fire. Him and one daughter escaped. This other believer, his wife, and 4 of his children were killed. He'd been saved 1 month's time. They took this other guy, came to my Bible studies in Hanoi. Preacher, they arrested him. They knocked all his teeth out and arrested him for 18 days. Then they let him out so people would see what happened to him. Then they locked him up again. I know people like this. I've met people like this in Muslim countries like Indonesia where I've spoken. I've met people like this in communist countries. Maybe I can teach them about the scripture, but they teach me what the scripture's about. There's a big difference. That's how I tell people. That's how I explain it. I can teach them about the scripture. They teach me what the scripture's about. And I ask these guys, you pray for my legs. I'd like to be able to walk. I don't know if I'll be able to come back to Vietnam again. My physicians don't know. And these guys came and prayed. Lo and behold, the only time I need a wheelchair is in an airport.
Amen.
I know it's because the prayers of a righteous man availeth much. have something that we don't have, no, I'll tell you this. And I don't mean this to condemn, I only state it as a matter of fact. I've seen and I've met true Christians in Pennsylvania. I've met true Christians in Texas, I've met true Christians in Great Britain, I've met true Christians in Australia, I've met true Christians in many places. But the only place I've seen true Christianity, and I say this with a sense of shame, the only place I've seen the book of Acts is where the church is persecuted. Before the Lord comes back, the church will be so much like the world. Persecution will become a necessary evil. He's coming for a pure bride. So far, he has a half a hooker. It's crazy. The church has become so much like the world. It's, even these televangelist women, they even look like prostitutes somewhere. It's unbelievable. And I'm not against the lipstick and makeup in moderation, but they look devilish. Even the world makes fun of them. They're personifications of the woman Jezebel in Revelation. You got pastors whose God is money. They're mammon worshippers. And these guys, that's their real God. The church becomes so much like the world, persecution becomes a necessary evil. Now, when a persecution, it's those who don't need to be persecuted who get it first, and sometimes worst. But it sure cleans out the dead wood. A persecution must come before Jesus returns, he said so. Let no one tell you we're going to be raptured out of here, we're not going to suffer.